Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Friendship Dawn podcast. With me again this week is my great friend, Skylar.
Hello.
And the card, it is the week of October 10th. And the card of the day today is Golgari Thug.
You're not going to ask me what the weather was like?
Oh, what was the weather like today?
I was just curious because you did it on the first episode, so I thought it was going to be like a running bit.
I did not
I thought you maybe wanted to step into David Lynch's scene, so. But I see now you're backing out.
Yeah. I don't know. The weather wasn't interesting today, in my opinion. It was just kind of like chilly, so.
I was inside all day, so I didn't experience it at all.
Yeah. But like last week, it had like rained and a bunch of stuff it has, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
It's getting cold out, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Anyways, the card of the day, Golgari Thug. Do you know anything about this card?
I know that it is. Golgari is a guild in Ravnica. I also know that it's black, and that it seems to cost mana, and that it's an uncommon 1/1. It looks like it has Dredge 4, and the little white. Your mouse is hovering over the there we go. Seems like it's a creature, some sort of human warrior. I don't know which Ravnica set this came out during.
Okay. So there's a lot to digest here.
Really?
Yeah. So you said it costs 2 mana. Actually, nobody ever cast this card.
You're right. It's
it has Dredge 4 in it.
Yep.
And it might as well not have any other text on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's that good in Dredge.
Actually, we'll get to this later. The text on it's actually a drawback. So, anyways, it's where was it going with this? Oh yeah, it's from Ravnica City Guilds, the first Ravnica,
right? Which is why it's a problem.
Yeah, which is why it's a mistake.
When they invented Dredge, which was a mistake.
Well, apparently, so when they were designing Dredge, they had apparently gone through like 23 mechanics before Dredge, before they found something that was somewhat playable for like limited.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, Dredge is really bad and limited.
Well, it's like interesting and limited, right?
Sure.
Because it gives you like all of your cards in your graveyard become like it's kind of like flashback.
Yeah.
But
sure.
Anyways, the thing is, they obviously hadn't thought of the flip over my entire deck and win the game shit.
Yeah.
Right? Because at the time, the most heinous offender for Dredge, which was Narcomoeba, hadn't been printed yet. It's one of the weird Future Sight cards, and Future Sight was, I believe, the block after Ravnica.
Huh.
So it was, just not like a thing that was thought of, or like, really, honestly, the problem with Dredge isn't really the Dredge cards that like fuel your entire thing. Well, I mean, like the fuel is a big part of the problem, but like the actual problem is the enablers that were printed in Future Sight that are just fucking weird cards, like Bridge from Below, an enchantment that has nothing in play but everything in your graveyard, and Narcomoeba, a creature you get for free if you mill it, right? Like, and of course there's some really old stuff from like Odyssey that's like just stupid that that like you don't have to pay mana to flashback the spells, you just sack your dudes. Anyways, getting into the line of text that Golgari Thug actually has that I was telling you was a drawback earlier.
Sure.
So it says when Golgari Thug dies, put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library.
Oh,
right?
Which is a drawback for Dredge decks.
Not quite. So a good thing about Stinkweed Imp, which is like the 3 mana 1/2 with like Dredge 5 and like flying or whatever.
Sure.
Is that you can cast that one if there's no Dredge cards in your graveyard, and then just like block with it or like let it die somehow, and then you can start dredging. Problem with Golgari Thug is if you just cast it and there's no creatures in your graveyard, when it dies, it puts itself back on top of the library.
Ooh, wow, that's pretty bad.
Because Golgari Thug is neither an option nor worded to exclude hitting itself.
It doesn't say put up to one creature card. Okay. Yeah.
You just always, you have to put a creature, and if Golgari Thug is the only one, you have to put Golgari Thug back on top.
Which is abysmal.
Yeah, because it can target itself for some reason.
Well, it's a 2-mana 1/1 that keeps coming back.
Yeah, it's a 2-mana 1 that keeps coming back.
You basically have a blocker every turn.
Yeah, which is great because you can never start the dredge train with like actually casting the Golgari Thug because if it dies, it never goes to the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, dredge is an incredibly fun deck.
I mean, listen, I don't play a lot of moderns. Even now, I'm trying to get into like semi-competitive Magic, and I don't play a lot of modern. You here are the resident expert on what dredge is.
Yeah.
So,
it's basically like, it's yeah. I don't cast any spells the whole game. It's a weird function of like Storm, right? Where instead of casting a bunch of spells on like a single turn, you cheat on mana instead of using the Storm mechanic, and like using weird like and interesting cards that let you play them for free from your graveyard.
mm-hmm.
And that's like really like it's A, really powerful, and B, it's a really like fun experience to like spin all of your wheels and then like watch how it plays out. The sad part is that like your deck often just loses to like to like any graveyard interaction at all.
Yeah, rest in peace.
You've been you've been banned so much that like it's hard for your deck to get a footing if it gets like even like Tormod's Crypt, which is an artifact that sacks to like exile the graveyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if they do that, you're kind of just fucked. Like you lose so much momentum, and a lot of your spells require you to discard the cards before you draw. Like
yeah. And they get exiled, so
yeah.
they're just gone forever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that does suck.
Yeah. Little unfortunate. But like actually spinning your wheels and going off is a ton of fun. I had a sick game where I drew like 8 cards on my turn, not dredging none of them, because my opponent had like a Sarah's Emissary in play, which is a reanimator target that gives you protection from creatures, right? So I couldn't like attack them at all.
Yeah.
And so I like played 2 Ox of Agonis and like drew for my turn, and then like on the last draw off of like a Cathartic Reunion or something, I drew the 1 Pat deck out of my deck, passed their dude, and then killed them.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah. It was fun.
As far as my opinions go, it's from Ravnica, so what can I say? It's
yeah.
I guess both of the cards we've done are from Ravnica.
Oh, that's fair.
That's weird.
I never think of the Nephilims from Ravnica, though.
Yeah, not really. Well, it's my favorite card we've done so far.
Yeah. There's a cool Secret Lair drop art, too.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the theme of the Secret Lair?
This guy, the artist.
It's
and
just
also literally dredge cards.
Oh, okay.
I can hit the Secret Lair drop thing.
Yeah, sure. They're
okay.
So they're all
the Stranger Things Secret Lair got revealed.
Wow, neat.
Yeah. Monster Movie Marathon. Oh wow, this is
whoa. That all looks sick. Hey, we're getting sidetracked.
We're getting super sidetracked. Control F.
Oh my god.
Golgari.
Secret Lair cards are the coolest, actually.
Golgari Thug. Yeah. It's Bloodghast. It's like creatures that you play for free from your graveyard. Golgari Thug. A card with dredge.
And also they're all like connected.
They're all connected?
Yeah. If you look, like see that the tree, the art connects.
I don't think the art actually connects. Oh no, it does.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, you're right.
It even connects if you place like Life from the Loam on the end of Bloodghast.
Yeah, this connection is the one that's like is the one I'm not
a little iffy.
Yeah.
The color is what connects it to me, and like the tree sort of connects me. Again, you're not getting any of this YouTube. Maybe Ivan will do some editing wizardry, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Anyway, go look up Secret Lair cards. They're amazing. They're so cool.
Yeah. The new ones are great. I can't wait to look at them in a little bit.
Oh boy. Yeah. When this podcast is over, we're just going to look at those for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, and be like, I wish I could afford them, but I just bought a modern deck.
I wish I had like $500.
Anyways.
What's our next segment?
we're gonna move into weekly work again.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I had an interesting schedule this week. I normally start at noon and go to 8, but on a couple of days I went from 10 to 6.
Right.
And on Monday I went from 8 to 4.
Truly, again, AM. These are all the morning shifts.
Yeah, the morning.
Absolutely abysmal. I'm terribly sorry.
They're actually not that bad. For one, if you show up early enough, basically half of your first couple hours are literally just breaks. It is surprising how early in the morning, like, I was opening the $5 blackjack, and while I was opening it at like 8 in the morning, 3 people walked up and were like, are you open yet? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just surprised at how early people wanted to come in and gamble.
I
guess
just so you know, they've probably been there all night. They didn't show up right then and there to go.
Yeah.
They've been there all night playing slots. Got a little bored after playing slots for presumably 12 to 14 hours. And then saw that a table was open and was like, ooh, I'll play that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's like interesting. I guess it was also, I think it was Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday, so people might have gotten work off. I don't know. Yeah. Which is interesting. The tribal casino doesn't give us double pay. Whatever.
Nope. We lost a bunch of vacation days.
Yeah.
A while ago.
Yeah. I keep hearing about that. Do you have any stories?
I do. I have a couple. So the first one is a fun story. I was dealing at the $25 table way over in Pit 3, just at the back ass end of pits, and there was, I actually remember all their names. It was,
you can't give their names or descriptions. Yep.
3 people at a table.
Yeah.
They were.
You
a lot
can't
of fun.
be like A, B, C, right?
Yeah, sure. It was A, B, and C. I wanted to mention the names because Gentleman C was like making not a pun. He was saying B and C's name together to make, like, I don't know. Again, C made a joke that involved B and C's names. It's hard to make the joke without having names, or just so I'll just sort of shuts down that part of the story. But otherwise, they were a lot of fun to play with. Probably the most fun table I've had in, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. And as I was leaving the table, me and C were being like a little combative, but playful banter. And C's like, as I'm leaving the table, he's like, my replacement comes to tap me out, and I'm dealing out, and he's like, you know what, Skylar, or wait, can I?
Yeah, you can do your own name.
Okay. You know what, Weird Can? You can go and suck it. And I was like, suck on this, and I hit out to 21, and I left the table.
Oh my god. Fun.
It was so much fun. It was absolutely the best time I've ever had at a table. Man, you know what sucks?
What?
I always leave the table and I'm like, yeah, I had so much fun. I made like $10 in tips.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I had
really
like,
charismatic.
I got really good tips on the 8 to 4 and the second 10 to 6.
I guess it's like, I don't know, man.
So, one of them was all luck.
I think they're all luck.
Yeah.
Until you get like, until you're actually just like the popular kid at school, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so there's a lot. Sorry, I have a bunch of stories too. So let's like alternate back and forth.
Sure.
So one, this is a really short one. So there was a guy who was playing at a bunch of tables, walking around, waiting for like a spot at Spanish to be open, right? So we were first. It was like UTH, and he was like, I don't know how to play this game. He was like hitting really hard, right? He was hitting like the straights, the full house, all the beginner's luck shit, right? And then like he leaves, and then I go on break, and I come back. He's still not on Spanish somehow. I'm on 11, which is right next to Spanish. It's another blackjack table.
Is Spanish full?
Spanish was full, and the second one wasn't open yet. So, anyways, I'm just dealing to this dude, right? And we keep going, like back and forth, breaking even. Like every time I have an ace up, he puts out insurance and then like loses it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
every time on regular blackjack.
On regular blackjack. So, anyways, he's talking to his friend or whatever, like right as the second Spanish table is opening.
Mm-hmm.
And his friend's like, and I get an ace, right? And he puts out insurance, and then he loses it.
Yeah. And
then his friend's like, what do you bet on that? And the guy just looks at him so confident. He's like, they ever have an ace up and they offer that insurance stuff, you should just always take it. 80 to 90% of the time, they have it. And I don't want to check that math, but I feel like that's a little high.
What was his friend's reaction to that news?
Spanish is open. Let's go play Spanish.
I wonder if he bets insurance every time on Spanish. Because if he does, he's not going to be playing for very long. Yeah. Does he bet full insurance?
Yeah.
Wow. Absolute madman. I don't know. The rest of my stories are just about taking large quantities of money. And I mean like vast. So like
someone took bet a 5 on PGA 8.
Okay.
And I gave him trips. That was cool.
Oh, 5 on the side bet.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, tokes are really random. I'll go like a whole week without getting tokes, and then I'll show up to a table and I'll give somebody a blackjack and they'll bet a quarter for me. And they'll just do that every time they like win a hand or something.
I will say the table you're at depends a lot. And a big thing that I've noticed is like I have a really hard time like getting friendly with people unless there's like one or maybe two people at a table, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I am like friendlier with like certain people, they'll normally like tip more, or sorry, toke more.
Yeah, I'd say that's a given. But even then,
yeah, it can be really hard.
It's so weird too, because even when I'm feeling like the most charismatic I've ever been in my whole life, just like really working for those totes, and just like nothing, and I don't know. I'm not thinking about it while it's happening. But I get off the table and I'm like, damn it, I was working for those totes too. Didn't get a single one.
Yeah. I don't know. There was also something that like one of the decade dealers like told me where like if you say their name more often, like that's like the key thing.
That's so unnatural.
Yeah, it's a little tough,
especially when I don't know, man.
I don't know. Normally, when like if it's somebody I know and they come to the table, I say, hey, how are you doing, X, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
Oh man, I remember one of the first time I shadowed somebody was I think someone out of the most recent class, not the one that's going on now, but the one before that, and every time he would take somebody's Camus card or get to a table, he would be like, "Hi, I'm X, and I'm gonna be your dealer tonight." Like it was programmed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, at least I'm not doing that. Because
I think that's okay.
It's okay, but like, I don't know.
There's so many times I come to the table and then like my lanyard's the wrong way, and then someone's like, "What's your name?" And then I like have to flip it around. Then I still have to say it to them because apparently, like, I don't know, they're illiterate or something.
Yeah, they asked you not because they can't see your badge, but because they can't read.
I had a deaf person at one of the tables.
Huh.
They were really good. I don't know.
I bet that was interesting.
Yeah. The only part that like what like that was like really any different. They knew all the signals and everything. Was that if they had like a pair that didn't, or like a set of numbers that wasn't easy to count, they would count on their hands every time. And like I can't tell them the number because they can't hear anything, right? So
yeah. And there's no point you being like, right? Because then it's just them.
Yeah. It was pretty cool though.
Okay.
I'd like more 10 to 6s. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I bet. Next week, my schedule is back to normal, baby.
Oh, sick! Mine too.
In fact, I was worried. I thought because I was trying to remember the schedule before I looked at it when I came to work yesterday. I was like, oh man, do I have a 5-day work week or a 5-day like work stretch? Because I thought they had scheduled me Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then also scheduled me Tuesday next week. Yeah. But they didn't. So instead, it's just 4 8s.
Nice. I had a.
Still gonna suck, but you know.
I don't know. I'm fine with like 4 8s or whatever.
Honestly, now that I've worked it, it's okay. But as long as I don't have to work on a Wednesday or Friday, I'm honestly fine.
Yeah.
Not that I have any power over that.
Yeah. You work Tuesdays?
No, not usually.
Okay.
But I have like the last 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a weird thing where like this week I don't work Saturday and I also don't work Sunday next week.
Yeah, your schedule's bunk.
Yeah. I don't know. But my schedule's always bunk. Like day shift is like they're either like really short on dealers so they can't give anybody a consistent schedule or like they're like they just don't care. Which is so weird because they're so like if I just put in like any schedule change request for them that's like yeah I want these 3 days off, they'll just be like okay, moving everything around.
Yeah.
Because like other dealers do that too. Yeah.
Other dealers do that?
Yeah, other dealers do that too. Right? This I've heard a lot of how like the day shift people are the people who are best about just like moving your days around however you want it for like a particularly like if you want to go to a wedding or something, right?
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope my schedule is normal for the week I took vacation off.
Yeah. I'm still not sure how to do the vacation stuff. Anyways. I have 2 more stories from the quarter table.
I have 0 more stories.
Okay.
I mean, I could go into depth about how I took, like 12 grand from this dude.
That is one of my stories, but it's a lot longer and more interesting.
Okay. Mine was he comes up to the free bet table in pit 3. I tap out. Damn it. Another dealer. We have a lot of bleeping in this episode, which is funny because we swear, and I don't think you'll be bleeping out that.
Yeah, no.
Tapping out another dealer. Get to the table. He's pretty stacked. He's got like, I don't know, 5 or 6 purple chips in front of him, and he'll do this thing where he'll bet a purple chip and then bet like $15.
Oh my god!
And if he loses, he'll bet a purple chip. But he'll bet really low until he loses, and then he'll bet heavy. And I took him for all he was worth. And then he buys in again, and then I bring him down to like 1 purple, maybe 3.
I think I had this guy yesterday.
Yeah.
It was on like the $5 blackjack table though.
I've seen him. I dealt him again on BJ8, and again took him for all he was worth.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even
it was
after
so weird. He didn't have purples. He had like a ton of green.
No, it wasn't him.
Okay.
This dude plays purples.
Okay.
Solely. Like, is the kind of person that will just like not even bother to count out how many $100 bills that he's given you.
Yeah.
Just like count this out, give me as many purples as possible. Yeah, even when he got 4 splits and a double, and 1 his double and 2 of his splits, he still just played it all away. And he was going to get up from the table with 2 purples left, but he's like, as I'm cleaning everything up, he's like, 1 more hand.
Yeah.
And he gets like a soft 14 doubles face down against my 7.
You can't double face down on a soft 14.
Yes, soft 14.
Okay, yeah.
Doubles with his own money on free bet.
Yeah.
Doubles with his own money on a soft 14 against my 7. Flip over 17, he's got soft 15. Loses both of them and is like, fuck. Leaves the table.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, oh. That's all my purple chips back. Clink, 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 clink. None for you, sir.
I had one where she came to, I come to the table, right?
Yeah.
And she's been there for like a little while on the quarter table, betting like 50 on 2 hands and then like 10 on both the side bets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she does the thing where she's like, I'm down by a lot, so like you need to be like really good, right? And I am like pretty good. I think I give her, she said to me, I'm down 1,500, I need to win all of that back, right? And I give her like 1,000.
Okay, that's
right?
honestly not a lot to be down.
She
playing on the quarter table.
Yeah, she goes up to 1,000, and then dude walks up. This is the quarter table. Puts $25 on the table.
Exactly 25.
Exactly.
Like a $20 bill and a 5, or are we talking like 4 5s and 5 1s?
I think it was a $20 bill and 5 ones.
Oh no! Oh my god!
And I say, "You want green?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then that's the inflection point.
No.
I hit out to 21, take all of his money, he leaves, and then it goes downhill
It's
from him.
just a shit show for the rest.
And I don't know how to say this, but like that dude saved my reputation because she was like, he saw all the greens in front of me and thought I was winning, so he came to the table, but I'm actually losing, and now he's fucked up the shoe.
Oh, so she blamed him and not you. Nice.
Yeah.
That's the best. I'm always like, as a joke, anytime anyone is like, hey, it's your fight, or like starts like a play fight between players, I am always quick to jump in with like, yep, that's right, it's definitely your fault and it's not mine. Let's everybody remember that. Not my fault. One of my personal favorite bits to try and slip in there.
She also, at the end, I said something like, I wish I could have given you more money.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, oh, don't worry, it's just the cards. Right? Like, she was...
Yeah. They all say it's just the cards. But in the moment, they need someone to blame, and that someone is you, the dealer! Fuck you!
Yeah. I don't know, she was pretty good about it.
Yeah, most of them are.
Anyways,
most of the regulars are.
Yeah. Going to the other $25 table thing, I think this was Sunday. But we're on strings, right?
Yeah.
So I have the quarter table multiple times over the course of the day.
Mm-hmm.
First time I show up at the quarter table, there is this sign out that says no mid-shoe entry. I look at it and I'm like, the fuck is that? What? And there's like 2 dudes on either side just playing 50. Like, playing...
Sure.
Sorry. One of them's playing like 100 on 2 hands and the other's playing like 50 on each hand.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, this is weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
We're going through, we're doing all this stuff, right? The guy, like, one of the dudes getting eviscerated. Other dude doing fucking great. I give him trips on kings 3 times, and he's got quarters on the side.
Oh
bets,
yeah,
right?
he's making it.
He's making it.
Wow, that's
and
hilarious.
The other dude goes down to just $25, and he's like, and then the other guy's like, here, take this. I'm like way up now, and he's like a little buzzed, you know.
Sure.
And the other dude's like, nah, it's fine. Just pulls out $500 and like,
of course,
we keep going, right? And they like keep like loaning the chips back and forth, right? A bunch of people walk up to the table, watch for like 2 minutes, see the sign, and leave, right?
Huh?
Yeah. And like, then it like switches, and I'm eviscerating the dude who had like trips a bunch.
Yeah.
To the point that he's now pulling the purples back out of his pocket.
No! Oh no!
And then,
absolutely ruins me whenever I see somebody check in a purple.
and
It's
then,
just like, you've got it in your hands. You've got the best. You've got the thing that's worth the most amount of money in this casino, aside from like a really good slot ticket.
yeah.
It's like, you're really gonna give that away? Why? It's $500. You're holding a $500 bill in your hands. That's the size of a big quarter.
Yeah. And then, like, the other person gets up to, like, 500 and just like, okay, I'm out. Have a good night, man.
Huh.
Right? And so it's just me and him playing, and he keeps asking me for, like, he keeps going, like, can't believe you won't give me a straight flush. And, like, I give him trips again, and he keeps going, like, still not a straight flush today. Right? And then I leave. I go on break, and I'm talking to the other dealers, and they're like, yeah, if people just really don't want other people to play the game, they can ask for the no mid-shoe entry sign and then double the table minimum. So the reason they were betting so much is because they had to, because the table minimum was $50.
Holy. The last time I saw a group of people that didn't want anybody to play at the table, it was like 3 people, and 2 of them played 3 hands, and 1 of them played 2.
Wow.
It was a Spanish one. And I was like, I hate you people. I can't, I just like crack my knuckles like, all right, you want to keep this table full? Fine, I'm going to make you pay for it.
Anyways,
Makes me,
we're on strings, right?
sure,
3 hours pass. Come back to the quarter table.
fun.
Just him there. And remember how I said he was buzzed earlier?
Yeah. Oh, he's
now,
smashed. Oh
now
my
he
God.
is so smashed. And he is obviously, like, not doing great.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's drunk.
He's still got purples in his pockets because he still keeps taking them out, right?
Yeah.
But, like, he's like hoping and saying all this stuff, and he's like, just one straight flush, please, despite the fact that, like, he had hundreds on there and I gave him trip kings again.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But, like, it devolves halfway through my push, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy's standing there, also little buzzed, watching the whole thing. They're saying each other's name. I get the thing that they're friends, right?
Sure.
Dude gets a purple. And then the fucking wildest shit happens. He picks up the purple and he says, hey, person X, cash this in for me. Bring it back.
Oh, no. No, my God.
And so, person X
Yep.
takes the $500 chip, walks away.
He's never seen from again.
5 minutes later, comes back with $500, and the dude's like, okay, do it again. And it's this weird thing where he keeps getting a purple, and he's like, if I turn them into cash, I won't spend them. And then, like, he runs out of money before the dude comes back, so he takes, like, the money out that he just got and then changes it in for for chips.
Oh my God.
So this weird
Oh
cycle
my
is
God.
happening where he's, like, giving the other person purples to go exchange for cash, and then bringing the cash back and giving it to me for greens. And it's like... Why?
Oh my God. That's awful. That's awful on like 3 levels.
This continues for like 20 minutes, and he keeps doing that thing where he's like, last hand, I swear. Last hand, I swear.
That makes me so angry. Oh my, I really don't like it when people lie to me like that. It's just like, oh yeah, really? It's your last hand, bud? Like,
Yeah.
I just want to,
And he
like...
keeps saying the stuff like, I need to go home, I can't stay here any longer, I've already lost too much money. And I'm like, I'll keep dealing to you, man, but
Yeah.
you gotta make a decision. And then somebody else comes up to the table and I like point to the $50 minimum sign, and they're like, yeah, no. And then like the other dude looks at them And it's like, don't worry, this is my last hand, and it's all yours. So we do that one hand.
Yep.
He loses.
Yep.
Puts the rest of his chips in, and he's like, just one more hand, and this is all over. And it was. That was the last hand. He lost everything, and he was like, I need to go home. Please.
Oh man. Honestly, I think the worst version. Oh, go ahead.
And he gave the money runner dude. He gave him $50.
Weird.
Yeah.
Super sus.
It's incredibly sus. Anyways, the next dealer comes in and taps me out and goes like, "What'd you do to him? Where'd he go?"
Oh my god, that's the best. Oh man.
To be fair, he was definitely the tipping star of the day, and I wish him well. I hope he made it home safe and
Yeah, of course.
had a fun time while he was at the casino.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I hate it. I don't like it whenever people are like, it's the last hand. It's the last hand. Okay, this is...
I just don't believe people anymore.
I mean,
me
neither.
They just go like...
But the worst version of that is when their significant other is next to them being like, okay, can we go now?
Yeah.
I would like to leave. And they're just like, one more hand. Lose. Okay, one more hand. And then, like, I've seen people just, like, ignore them. Just like, can we go home yet? They just, nothing. Absolutely stonewall them. And I'm just like, smile teeth. There's nothing I can do. There's money on the table. I deal to him. It's not like I can be like, hey, man, they want you to leave. I'm not dealing to you anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know.
That'd be wild. I feel like you would get fired for that.
I don't know. Now I'm curious. Probably not, but maybe.
Anyways, that was our card of the day and our weekly work. We're going to take a break real quick, and we'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Friendship Dawn podcast. We are now in the board game zone. We're going to be talking about board games. I have a new board game I played this week, and I have a story about my board game. What do you... do you have anything you want to talk about related to board games?
I also have a new board game I played, and I guess I've got a board game I want to highlight.
Yeah. You should go. Let's go. You, me, and then the last one's gonna be we talk about Titan Tactics.
Oh, sounds good. Okay, so I played I'll air quotes this, quote unquote board game, end quote. It's really more like a narrative experience called House of Danger, which is a game based on choose your own adventure books. It's functionally, I would say it is a board game. You essentially read through cards like you would flip through pages on an adventure book. And at the end of each card, there are going to be like one of like three things you can do. Maybe two. You can do any optional challenges there to receive additional clues. And then there are you will look for other cards throughout the page, essentially the page deck. Yeah. So you'll go from location to location, figuring out clues and trying to survive. And the story so far, from what I understand it is, the synopsis is that the group plays, right? The group being the one or more players playing House of Danger, collectively controls. The group plays as an aspiring detective who is also like a mediocre psychic, and they have they've been receiving nightmares about House in their town for some nights, and so they go to investigate it and there's some weird goings on there. You search around. The first chapter is about trying to find a way into the mansion, and honestly, it functions a lot like an unlock game, except for instead of like there being like a hidden objects mechanic, there's a mechanic where you roll a 6-sided die.
Oh,
it's basically the only difference. It's also way more reading.
That's fun. I like the reading in Unlock, but there's like basically none of it.
Oh, there's a lot.
Yeah, in Unlock I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
The big thing about Unlock reading though is that most people don't want to listen to it. They just want to play the Unlock.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I would say that House of Danger, and I guess there's a sequel to it. They are much more lore focused, to put it succinctly.
That sounds quite fun.
Honestly, it was a good time.
Nice.
Me and my girlfriend played it. We played it for like probably an hour. Played through the first chapter. Pretty sick. It was it's really well thought out. I never really read any like choose your own adventure books. I didn't really when I was younger. I didn't really understand the appeal because I was trying to like because I would read a story to like understand its plot and everything, and I didn't really have fun with the idea that you could like don't really know what's going on until you like go through all the possible iterations.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say I don't like it when the game the choose your own adventure is just like, oh, if you do this, flip to page 46, and then page 46 is lol, you died, why did you do this, you dumbass.
Yeah,
which is basically one of the cards in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's sometimes you choose your own adventure and your adventure is dying, right? Like,
yeah. That just, I don't know. That probably turned.
I pull a book out of the bookshelf. Well, the evil book spirit that was hiding behind it comes out and stabs you 3 times.
And you're dead. Yeah. And there's like a slight penalty to dying in, quote unquote, dying in House of Danger. Because there's like a the most important there's a there's a board to it, and the board has a psychic level tracker and a danger meter. The danger meter tracks how difficult challenges are, and the psychic level tracker essentially is the reward system. The game rewards you for overcoming challenges and for figuring out clues by improving your psychic level. And then the better your psychic level is, you are rewarded with premonitions, which give you clues about stuff that happens later. Honestly, pretty solidly interesting game. Really well done. It does the thing I like, which is all the pieces fit in the box. Very well made. I like it whenever a board game can fit inside the box it's been put in.
That's a big problem with a lot of really good board games like Tyrants. The cards just don't fit in the box. Like,
yeah. Well, to be fair, you put sleeves over them.
Yeah,
and you bought the expansion.
Yeah, but the expansion comes in like an Uno box, right? The Uno boxes are fucking garbage.
Uno boxes are the worst. It's so bad. But they're cheap.
They're like, so you want your game to get absolutely fucking destroyed? Here's a box for you.
Here's a noodle box.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm sure it's cheap.
Yeah. I played a new indie game that the store got it in stock right before I started playing it.
What day was this?
It was yesterday. So after work, I went there for the modern tournament. The modern tournament didn't fire because there were only 4 people.
I can't believe you played an indie board game without me.
Yeah, and then like everybody left, and then like we called up the group and asked Raymond to bring his cube. And pick up Sky so that we could do like a cube draft.
Sure.
But while we were doing that, the indie games guy that the store gets indie games from walked in and was like, "Hey, here's the new games, and I'm gonna take some of your old games because we need them, and you're not really selling them."
Oh, which games did he take?
Far Away, and I can't even remember the other one. Anyways,
Didn't know that you could lose them. I thought they would all just be there until I bought them. Shit. Okay.
and then he brought in this game called Slip Strike. So the conceit of Slip Strike is that you're like a spy trying to kill the other player's spy, and it gives you like these little meeple. And there's like a map of like 5 places, right? Like, they're like interchangeable tiles, and you put them in a ring. Yeah, they're like pentagonal shapes so that they fit in the ring, right? And
Okay,
everything. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And something really funny is the game gives you 2 meeples. You put one on the map and one in front of yourself, so you don't forget what color you are.
That's honestly, that's pretty smart. I'm not gonna
And
lie.
then you pick up the cards of the corresponding color. So, the game is like a ton of fun. You have 4. Okay, so you have 5 teleport cards, which let you teleport anywhere on the map, right? And you have move left, move right. And you have stab, which does on the same space. Pistol, which does on the spaces next to you, and then like sniper, which does like the 2 farthest away, right? But it's a ring, right? So like it loops around all that stuff and stuff,
Yes.
right? And then what you do is you put 2 cards face down, and then you flip them over, like you and your opponent flip them over at the same time. You do that thing. You resolve any hits or whatever, and then you flip over the second one and do that thing. Resolve any hits or whatever, right?
Okay.
So, the cool thing about this game is like out predicting all of your moves. And whenever you would get shot, if you have a teleport card in your hand and it can teleport you to a space that you won't get shot, you just remove it from the game and do that.
Oh, okay.
Right? So you're trying to get your opponent out of teleport cards, and you kind of don't want to use your teleport cards because it takes away options for you to like not die. Right?
Yeah, it takes away your
And like the teleport cards have a cooldown of 2, and then the shoot cards all have a cooldown of 1. So it's also about like managing what you can do on each turn and knowing what your opponent can do, all that stuff, right? It's it was really interesting and a ton of fun. We only got to play it once.
Yeah. Still, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, we played the demo version. It was pretty cool. What was the board game you wanted to highlight?
Oh, Inhuman Conditions. We played it a while back. I love that board game. I think that board game is incredible.
Yeah. Interviewed that board game.
Huh?
Interviewed that board game.
Yeah. I would. I don't know. It's got like everything I like. It's got like bluffing. It's got role playing. It takes place in like an interesting. I mean, I guess you kind of have to make up the world on your own. But the rule book has like twee storytelling. I think is really cute. And like the fact that it gives you paperwork to. I don't know. I just love the whole like conceit of the game and the way it's set up.
Yeah. The box is also really like well organized. The cards are all cut in like particular ways to make it easier to find the specific cards that you're looking for, and it's like an actual filing cabinet because one of you is an interviewer.
Yes.
Right? It's a very well thought out game.
I completely agree.
And you can tell that by looking at it
And playing it.
Yeah. So my second thing was just about my board game.
Yeah.
So I talked to Sky, and they said that they'd be willing to do the art for the game. So I'm looking forward to changing the theme around like what they're capable of doing art wise, and then like using like resources to create the cards and all that stuff.
We're talking about Unnamed Game B right now?
No, we're talking about Somnium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I think the Somnium engine's really good, and I think I don't
Are you
know.
gonna do like a Somnium expansion, or are we talking like a reboot?
A reboot. So I'm gonna probably change a lot of the cards and maybe make the game mechanics a little more understandable.
Hmm.
The big thing is, I guess, not understandable. I think it's like pretty streamlined already.
I think Somnium is extremely streamlined, and I like that about Somnium.
Yeah. Like, maybe adding in not like more complex cards, but like more interesting cards, right? Adding more to the cards, like even if it's just like a color background, and then you can do a thing that like whenever you play cards of color green, you get shit, right? Like,
Interesting. Okay.
stuff like that, you know.
Mhm.
That's basically where I'm at on that right now. I know the original Somnium's like really easy to play and comprehend. I don't want to lose like
Any of that?
yeah the easiness to play, but I also want to add like a little bit more complexity. Yeah, depth.
Not even complexity. You want more
Yeah.
depth to the game without introducing complexity.
Yeah.
Complexity isn't what you want, because you
Right.
don't want to take away from the streamline of what you've got with Somnium.
Yeah. So like when right, because like the most complicated decision in like the current Somnium is when you play spy, who do you target, right? Like, and the answer is generally it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You either get lucky or you don't.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So it's just like, yeah, just trying to get more of the system of Somnium to work in a way that's more interesting.
I think that is a noble goal, and I wish you the best of luck.
So Titan Tactics.
Whoo boy, I didn't bring it with me today.
Yeah. But it's still a lot of fun.
Honestly, it was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie.
It was like really engaging too, because the entire time you have to think about how the fight's going. So Titan Tactics is like a champion game where you get like X champion of all the same color, and then like you make a team and you fight the other team.
Mm-hmm.
And you get 2 actions per turn, which can be like moves, or all of your dudes have special abilities. So you play like a card that like generates a value, and you do the thing, right? So some of them have like yellow abilities, and you have a yellow card that
Yes.
if you play a yellow card, you can use any yellow ability. And then your last action is either you can do another action, or you can pick 3 cards out of the deck. So you can like keep your engine going, keep doing your abilities, right? Because after you get close enough, there's like no reason to not do abilities. Yeah. So the entire game revolves around this weird system of combat where you're moving like
It's a tug of war.
Yeah. It's a tug of war.
It's not like there's no way to like kill a champion.
Yeah.
Champions are on the battlefield for forever. You can stop them from doing certain things, and you won't always be able to do everything a champion can do. But there's no way to completely lock off a champion that I've seen yet, unless it's an ability of one of the like other colors of champions.
Yeah. It also was just what am I looking for? Sorry, the thing I was going to comment on was the resource management, right? Where like you can get 3 cards a turn, but you can like forego that to do more things, right?
Yep.
And so the entire time you have to think about what resources you're getting, what you're doing with your resources, and like you have to plan so far ahead.
Oh, that was so hard for me, dude.
Because sometimes you like you end your round, and then next turn you're thinking about what you're doing.
Yep.
If there's any complaints I have about Titan Tactics, it's the status effects that just literally never go away.
Yeah. Honestly, the player interaction is a big thing for me. I love player interaction. It can't be that you interact like player interaction has to be a back and forth.
Yeah.
It cannot be a one-sided affair. You can't have an ability that only an opponent allows, or I don't even know how to phrase this. Like,
that your opponent has complete control over.
yeah, It seems like a really weird design choice for their like. And honestly, if I had to guess, I would assume that somewhere in that deck of like 20 champions, there's got to be a champion that says like remove status effects.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We just haven't seen any.
Yeah, I will say I don't know, maybe I'm really bad at like those kinds of, especially any game that requires me to put like foresight into it.
Yeah.
Like the hardest part of that game for me was planning out my moves. Like,
yeah.
I would just I tunnel vision, or I think too broadly, and then I'm like, oh, what if I wanted to do? I can't. I don't have the cards I need.
Yeah. There's also
the fact that I won that. I don't know. It feels weird that I won that game because I don't know.
There's also like. There's so much complexity on the board because your opponent has 3 champions that have 3 abilities each.
Yep.
And you have 3 champions and you have 3 abilities each. So that gives you a lot of options and that lets you like kind of play your own game from your side, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you like you can make a lot of strategy around doing certain things and then realize your opponent has an ability that you didn't know about that kind of just mucks your entire plan, and you need to like replan your entire turn around like moves that you didn't know existed.
And honestly, I think that's a positive for Titan Tactics. I think what Titan Tactics wanted us to do was look at each other's heroes and study them and be like, okay, here's what your heroes can do, here's what my heroes can do.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody's on the same page. I think it's more interesting if you go into that fight and you're just like, all right, I've got a plan. I'm gonna make it so that I am near this champion, and oh my god, they can just teleport away from me and also deal damage to me?
Yeah.
This is terrible. I can't be doing this. Oh no, I have to switch tactics immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh, and then the other one where it's like, where we found out that like my stat, like I was like, oh, damage over time seems kind of nice. And then it was just so good.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It was fun to discover that. It seemed a little unbalanced.
Yeah.
Especially for something that was like, here are the 2 recommended sets of heroes you should be playing against.
Yeah. The damage over time, I don't know. My biggest complaints are the status effects and the amount of advantage the first player gets. Right? The game is really quick though. It's like really easy to like churn out games because after 5 rounds you're always done.
Yep. Every time.
Yep. Someone gets to 3 momentum at the end of 5 rounds, and you just see who's winning tug of war each round.
Yep. At the end of each round, after every champion has done a thing, we take a look at the board. If we take a look at the tug of war, if the tug of war is at 0, or more towards player 1's side of the board, then player 1 gains 1 momentum.
Yeah.
If it's less, or if it's more towards the player 2's side of the board, then player 2 gets a momentum.
Yeah.
Player 1 wins ties, which is pretty important, especially on the first round of combat.
Or like the first couple turns, right? Because the first one I was able to get up to like 2 damage, but then like we dealt a lot of damage in the second round, and then I got it back to 0 like just barely, and then you still got a point anyways. Right? So
yeah, pretty devastating when you're playing a game of tug of war, but one person starts with more of the rope than the other person. Kind of wild.
Yeah. Only a little bit wild.
Is that it for Board Game Corner?
Yeah. That's
okay.
It.
I feel satisfied.
Cool. So, next, let's talk about... So, I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Let's talk.
Do you have anything you want to say on the topic?
Of Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes.
Oh. I don't like Dungeons and Dragons.
Sorry, like the role-playing
Oh,
role-playing games in general.
okay.
You knew what I meant.
No, I didn't. I thought
Oh,
we were
okay.
specifically talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, you said specifically Dungeons and Dragons and not.
Because that's what most people analog to role-playing games.
Ah, well, guess what, buddy? I'm here to change that. Not really. I would love to, but I don't have the effort for that. I don't want to put in the effort for that. But I don't know. Since I was young, I've loved being able to improv and roleplay and LARP. It's just that I don't know. Pathfinder and D&D get a little bit stale, and there are so many other options that it feels like people are really hesitant to try.
Yeah. I don't. Well, it's because like what I said, like the analogs are like Dungeons and Dragons and like Pathfinder, and the things that are difficult about Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder get easier the more that you play them, right?
Sure.
Like instead of thinking about your spells for like 5 minutes, you just know what you want to cast, right?
Well,
Like,
yeah, but what if I want to cast a spell that's not on the spell list?
well, what?
I'm
This-
saying. Sorry, bringing up a problem I have with D&D.
Yeah. Like what? Then you would talk to your DM. Generally speaking, yeah.
Okay, sure. I don't think that's a solution that's solved by playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. But like, that's a really sorry. The big problems are like the dense rule book and stuff like that is what I was referencing, right?
Okay, sure.
Right. I didn't realize that you just didn't want to play by the rules of Dungeons and Dragons at all, right? Like, this is a little bit different than the angle I was looking at the problem from.
I don't know. I have a lot of problems with Dungeons and Dragons. I
Yeah.
apologize for interjecting with something that you thought was a non sequitur.
Yeah, no worries. So, what are your problems with Dungeons and Dragons?
The dense rulebook is a big one. Especially Pathfinder feels really inaccessible, and I feel like the amount of content that is there restricts you from more interesting like role playing. I've always had a problem with the like quote unquote spell lists in D&D because the media that I've engaged in, wizards have always seemed to sort of be able to do whatever they want. It's the idea that magic is constrained within like a spreadsheet, and then you have to pick from the cells on that spreadsheet is kind of weird to me. And it's always been a problem I've had with Dungeons and Dragons whenever I've played any quote unquote spell casting class.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We just played so much of it. We played so much Pathfinder. And then I discovered that there were things other than Pathfinder and D&D that I thought were more interesting.
Yeah.
Settings and systems and things like that.
I don't know, a thing that I like about Dungeons and Dragons, and not so much like also Pathfinder, is that like you can generate your own setting, right? Like you can create a land like Akhmet that doesn't need to be in like any of the rule books, right? And a lot of the like Powered by the Apocalypse games already have a world that you're taking part in, right? And the specific details of that world, like the different clans that are vying for power in the criminal underworld, are different, but you have to already give into the conceit that you want to be in a game in the criminal underworld, right?
It's so funny that you see D&D as a template, but you think that these other games aren't templates. Like you have to buy into Blades in the Dark's world of dark fantasy and Victorian themes, but You don't have to buy into like any of the predetermined lore about elves and dwarves and the world that's already built in Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, because Dungeons and Dragons is like a set of guidelines, right? It's the spreadsheet with all the spells on it, and then it says do what you want with this spreadsheet, and then it feels like Blades in the Dark gives you a different type of spreadsheet, a spreadsheet that's not about not particularly about the spells you can cast, right? But more about like type in here, it feels more Mad Libsy with the world than Dungeons and Dragons does. And Dungeons and Dragons does give you an entire like world, and it does theoretically want you to just play in that world, right?
Yeah.
Buy all of the adventure books and whatever and whatnot.
Sure.
But you don't like.
I guess I just have experience listening to media that deals with those settings, deals with those role-playing games in a separate setting. So I know what it would be like to do something like that. It's the same with D&D. I just find D&D's template to honestly be too complex. There's too much there. And I feel restricted. And if I'm going to already be ignoring a bunch of stuff that something like D&D has, why wouldn't I just be playing a system that's more rules-like? And like if I'm already going to be ignoring the setting of the book and a bunch of the stuff that's in it, right? Like if I'm just going to completely ignore all the spells in D&D and just be like, all right, we're going to make up our own spells and here's what they do. Why have to deal with the D&D's grid-based combat? And
you're not giving up the entire the entire spell list when you make a new world in D&D. The thing you're getting from D&D is like the spell list.
Mm-hmm.
What you like, what you're giving up is the fucking Tiamat and the world of dragons, right?
Yeah.
Right. The thing is it has it does have an admittedly large spreadsheet. That spreadsheet exists to give you things to do with your characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I feel like Blaze in the Dark gives you 10, 20 moves, right?
Yeah.
And that's your spreadsheet, right?
Sure.
It's the same spreadsheet, and it's just, less less defined, right?
Yeah. That's what I like about it. It just so happens that I also really like the setting that Blades in the Dark is in. Where Blades in the Dark is in. But I also like, I haven't really interacted with it as much, but Scum and Villainy, which is a quote-unquote Forged in the Dark system, which means it just uses the same gameplay mechanics as Blades in the Dark. It just has a different template, right? It's sci-fi themed instead of dark fantasy themed.
Yeah.
Which I feel like, again, is what you're doing with something like D&D when you make Akhmet, right? You're taking these rules and picking them up out of a world you're not really interested in and putting them in a world you are interested in. And it's just a lot. And Blaze in the Dark is less, and it allows me to focus more on roleplaying. And it's the same with Powered by the Apocalypse, the fantasy-themed Powered by the Apocalypse. I find more interesting because it's more more interested in the fiction storytelling aspect than it is, how far away your opponent is and how likely your magic spell is going to, what are the odds that your spell is going to hit your opponents, right?
Yeah.
And that's not to say that role-playing is impossible in Dungeons & Dragons, because we do it, used to do it every week, We do it a little bit less often now. But there's...
Who's going to catch coronavirus this week and
Oh my God.
promised another 2 weeks.
Wow, I can't believe you just dated the podcast. Corona's going to be a thing of the past in 3 years, baby. It's going to be so last 2022. Haha. I hope. Hopium. It's just that when I'm playing a game like D&D,
Yeah.
I find it harder to roleplay.
I don't know. I don't necessarily like agree with that.
That's
Not-
totally fine.
Yeah.
I think it's completely based in opinion.
Yeah. Not that I find it like easier to roleplay in D&D, but I find it equally like right, like there's the same amount of barriers.
They're just different.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm obviously the weird one. No one else wants to play any of the games I want to play.
Yeah.
Literally no one. I have to go on the internet to find people,
Yeah.
and that never works out. I was gonna say almost, but it just hasn't yet. It hasn't worked out. Period.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this segment of the podcast. We're gonna go ahead and take our final break, and we'll see you guys after that. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Friendship Dawn podcast. This last little bit's more of an experimental segment.
Sure.
We're just gonna talk about what we did over the last week.
Oh man, this is the scariest topic for me.
Yeah.
I don't remember
So
anything.
this is great. Friday, work, right?
Yeah,
Went to Ghost Quarter. I think I went and got food with Nick or something. I don't remember.
that's fun.
Oh, I went and got food with Nick and Wyatt. Wyatt was there too.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
That was a fun time.
Wyatt
Talk-
was.
Yeah.
We cubed with Wyatt recently, right? He seemed cool.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, Wyatt. It was really interesting. But in the sense of like Wyatt's like 18, and like he doesn't quite understand like a lot of stuff, but like he thinks he does, right?
Sounds like a pretty common theme.
Yeah. And it's just like interesting the way that he like wants to talk about stuff and like his like perception of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a fun talk. Saturday I think I just went straight home and like played arena.
Okay.
But Sunday I got out 2 hours early, drove to the modern tournament. Right? There were 6 people there. And I showed up, Nick handed me a deck as I walked in the door.
That was Dredge, right?
Yeah, Dredge.
Okay.
And then and then like later I found out that because I showed up like 10 minutes late, the cheater on the scene had left the tournament thinking it wouldn't fire.
Wow.
So
That is chef's kiss.
fucking like
That's amazing.
yeah.
Truly a heroic victory.
Yeah. That was all time great. Monday I went to work from 8 to 4, did a quick cube draft afterwards. That was a ton of fun.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah. Tuesday I think I just worked, went home, arena'd. And then Monday. Tuesday work, went home, arena'd. No.
Hmm?
No. I didn't have work on Tuesday. I had work on Wednesday. Okay. That's where I'm getting tripped up. I had no work on Tuesday. I woke up really late at like 1 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically I played arena like for like 2 or 3 hours, and it was just like, am I just gonna sit at home and play arena all day? I was like, fuck it. I hear Gamers Haven has a modern tournament every day at 6 p.m. And so like I spent
You did not go to Gamers Haven to play Modern?
I spent 30 minutes to like remake Domain Zoo, and like because like I updated it. I took out like all the mana dorks, put in Metamorphosis, took out all the lightning bolts, put in a couple more lightning helixes, a couple more lands, and also put in bought the fairy time raveler for the sideboard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't you have? You should have one for the sideboard, don't you?
No, the one I have is in my cube.
Just take it out of the cube for a bit.
Oh no, that's so much work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I try my best not to do that.
Fair enough.
And it's not like the fairies gonna like
Go down
anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyways, I bought those two Teferis, and I borrowed from Nick Chalice of the Voids. Put Chalice of the Voids in the main deck because I didn't have any 1-drops in it anymore. Right?
Yeah.
And then just went to Gamers Haven, got there at 5:30, looked through their multicolored box for like a rare I was like missing for my deck, but I didn't really need to like put in. At 6, there were 3 people there, and they were like, no modern. And I was like,
wow.
Cool, that makes sense. Significant other works 2 doors away.
Woo!
And they got off at work at 6. We went to the Saranac Public House downtown.
What'd you go there for? Did you go to the cafe or the bakery or the
pub.
The pub. I said the bakery, and I remember there's 2 bakeries there.
Yeah.
Did you just hop into the flower shop?
No. The Saranac Public House is like the restaurant. You're talking about.
Oh, the Saranac Commons. I'm thinking of the Saranac Commons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Saranac Public House is like the like bar.
It's the pub.
Well, there's actually a pub in the Commons.
Oh, that's right. Which is why I thought.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got a bar and a movie theater and something else I can't remember.
No, I forgot that's a movie theater.
Yeah, right? That's what I think every time I go in there. Anyways, like the lantern something? I don't know. Open lantern maybe? Anyways, it was great. I got my usual, just like mac and cheese they have is really good.
Oh,
and
wow.
So
good.
Got a rice bowl. I said the rice bowl was too spicy and I felt kind of bad about that.
Oh, what? You don't like spicy? Wow, oh, you're just a little fucking baby, huh? Don't like spicy? Too spicy for you, huh? You big baby. I get really defensive whenever people talk about spicy food because I don't like spicy food. I feel like I get alienated for it because everyone in like 500 miles loves spicy food, and I don't.
So, anyways, that was a fun little surprise date.
Yeah, nice.
And then Wednesday, got off work at 6, directly drove to Modern. That one also didn't fire.
Right.
But then there was like a surprise cube draft afterwards, so.
Yeah, and that was the one you played Slip Strike.
Yeah. And then today, I woke up probably at a normal time, like 11, and then my landlord wanted help getting a TV, and I have like an SUV, so we got my SUV, drove out to Costco, bought a TV, some sodas for a little while.
Hell yeah.
And oh yeah, so they're getting like the TV, right, and they're paying in cash, so they're calling like a supervisor and everybody over. So I just go over to like the little where they it's not like a restaurant.
Oh, the food. It's like a food stand.
Yeah, the food stand. And I'm just like, I want this chicken thing and also a 50-cent soda. And so I just ordered that, and then like we walked out to the car, and I ate my little chicken thing, and well, I took like 3 or 4 bites out of it, and then put the soda down, and then we spent like 10 minutes trying to get the TV in there. And we were like, it just doesn't fit. It's just barely not enough room. And then I was like, what if we just pulled our seats forward like an inch? And we did that, and it fit just barely. So then it was the question of how to get like the sodas and other shit into the car because we weren't going to put it on top of the TV. Yeah. So it was angled a little bit, so we put all the stuff underneath it that we could. And then Troy just sat with the soda and the Gatorade in his lap.
Nice.
But it was just funny. The actual margin we needed was the tiny bit of space that we got from pulling our seats forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been pretty much my whole week.
Nice. Interesting. My week, significantly less interesting.
Oh.
Cubed on Monday, that was fun.
Yeah.
But you remembered something.
I went to an Innistrad Midnight Hunt draft right before the podcast, too.
Right. Where you won.
Yeah, I won.
You played
I played Troy's in the finals. There were 6 people, and then 2 of them dropped before the first round, so.
Hey, free money.
Free money. Except, like, not really, because, like, winning the draft costs as much as the draft costs, so.
Wait, really?
Well, yeah, because you have to pay for the packs, and then you also pay into prizing.
Okay. But you spend all your money on Magic cards anyway, so if you're getting Magic cards for free, it's basically free money.
Okay, I guess.
And what, you haven't heard? Magic cards are the new cryptocurrency.
That's true. Anyways, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
My week, significantly less interesting. Basically, every day consisted of me either waking up at like 3, playing an hour of Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. Wow. Absolutely blown away. Truly. Like, so
what was it? Something Metroid 3?
Metroid Dread.
Oh, Metroid Dread.
It is a 2-dimensional Metroid game.
Okay. Yeah.
And
most Metroids are 2-dimensional, aren't they?
not true. The Metroid Prime series, all are first-person shooters.
Like those ones are for like the Wii and stuff, though, right?
The Wii and the GameCube.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Metroid Prime 1 and 2 were both for the GameCube.
See, I'm just more familiar with the Game Boy version.
Yeah, 2-dimensional. Most people are, I would say.
Yeah.
It's
watch our Let's Play on the YouTube channel from like 4 years ago.
Nice.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. Marketing. Did you say you watched it or that they should?
Yeah, they should watch it.
Okay. Yeah, I have yet to watch it. I assume it was good. But if you like the Game Boy Advance ones, Metroid Dread is absolute. It's just the Game Boy Advance ones, but it's just better. It looks phenomenal. There are like all the boss fights. So there's a parry mechanic, which is amazing. Love a good parry mechanic. And whenever you parry a boss, it enters this cutscene where the main character Samus is like, you have to like fire at the boss while Samus is like dodging their attacks for this little cutscene.
Nice.
And it's cinematic as hell and fucking awesome. It's so cool. So yeah, my day would usually consist of an hour of that, shower, go to work, and then get home, play Metroid Dread some more, and then go to bed.
Nice.
Played a lot of Metroid Dread, finished it day before yesterday. No, I finished it yesterday. Just absolutely solid game. There's a reason why they call them Metroidvanias. Goddamn. Absolutely phenomenal game. Probably gonna replay it here soon. Today started playing an indie game I bought a while back called Death Trash. It's like an action RPG. I would say similar to what I imagine the like Fallout 1 and 2 are like.
Yeah.
Where it's like a top-down action RPG. Pretty interesting. I like the setting. It's like post-apocalyptic with like Eldritch horror.
Yeah.
Pixel graphics. So if you're not into that, probably not going to be into it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Seems interesting. It's got some neat RPG mechanics. It was like all open world. Got some like a little bit of 2D or like top-down Dark Souls combat. I don't know. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Good time.
Well, feels like we're kind of hitting the friendship dusk zone.
Yeah.
Where we're getting to the end of the podcast. So, any closing thoughts? Any ending statements that you got? I did remember while you were talking about all of these indie games, Spiritfarer got an update recently where they added like 3 new characters that you can befriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Can't wait to replay that at some point.
I don't know if my heart can take that, man. I don't know if I could go through losing, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That was an extremely emotional experience for me.
Yeah.
Like, even just thinking about it now, I am just welling up with like grief, actual grief about these fictional two-dimensional characters.
Yeah.
Freaking wild, man. That's my closing statement.
Cool. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for listening. Friendship Dawn podcast. Don't forget to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/IvanZoe, IVANZOE. And have a good week.